Now, question of the day. A block of mass 4 kg is pressed against the wall by a force of 80 Newton. Okay, as saw in figure like that one. Determine the value of frictional force and block oscillation. Take μs and μk like that one. μs means coefficient of static friction and μk means coefficient of kinetic friction. Okay, our motto determine oscillation of the block and also determine frictional force. Okay, now how can determine? First of all, if you see very carefully, this one is 80 Newton. Okay, and that angle is how much? 37 degree. So first of all, component of 80 Newton in x direction and y direction. Do 80 cos 37 degree, and here that one is 80 sin 37 degree. Cos 37 is 0.8, so 80 into 0.8, that is 64 Newton. Clear or not? After that, that one is 80 into sin 37 is 0.6, so that one is 48 Newton. Clear or not? So first of all, there are two components corresponding to that one and that one. If you make free body diagram of that block again, that is wall. Okay, horizontal direction 64 Newton, that is 64 Newton. Okay, and vertical direction in positive y, how much? That is 48 Newton. That is 48 Newton. Clear? Now, if you make free body diagram of 4 kg block, that is 4 kg. Due to gravitational force work on downward, that is 4g. 4 into 9.8. We select g is equal to 9.8, that is okay. Now 4 into 9.8, that is how much? That is 4 into 9.8, basically that is 3 4 into 9.8, 39.2 Newton. Clear? And what about normal force? Normal force applied by wall, always perpendicular to the surface. So N1 like that one. Okay. Now next target is, what about frictional force? First of all, FL, limiting value μs into N1. What about N1? Motion always moving corresponding to y direction, not in x direction, because of that is wall. That's why. Okay, that wall is fixed. Okay, so N1, this N1 balance 64 Newton. Okay, so μs is 0.2 into N1 is 64. How much? 12.8 Newton. And what about Fk? That is μk into N1, that is 0.15 into how much? 64, that is 0.15 into 64, that is 9.6 Newton. Okay, kinetic friction 9.8, limiting friction 12.8 Newton. Okay, now we have focused on what about applied force. Someone say this one, someone say this one, but applied force means net force. Okay, if you see 48 and here 39.2, which one is greater? 48 is greater than 39.22, so net force in which direction? Y direction. Okay. So finally, if you make final block diagram corresponding to that one, 48 minus 3.2, that is how much? 48 minus 39.2, 39.2, that is how much? 8.8 Newton. That force is 8.8 Newton. Okay. Now, so friction force always work on applied force opposite to the applied force. So frictional force work in this direction. Clear? That is F. Okay. And here, if you make N1, here that force 64 Newton, and that is 4 kg block. First of all, after that, net force F net, how much? F net is, that is how much? 8.8 Newton. 8.8 Newton. Now frictional force, limiting value is 12.8. It means block is not moved because of limiting friction is greater than applied force. Okay, FL is greater than F net, so motion is not possible. So A is equal to 0. Okay, it means, and in that case, net force minus net force is equal to frictional force. This is equal to frictional force, and so it means block is not moving. It means if applied force 8.8, then frictional force also 8.8, then block is not moving. So if you say what about frictional force, then you get net force. Net force is 8.8, so frictional force is 8.8 Newton. Clear or not? So clear. So frictional force 8.8 and acceleration of the block is 0. So which option is correct option? More closer. A option is correct option. Okay, make it. If any doubt corresponding to that question, then tell me. I will again discuss in right now in comment. Okay, make it.